So a while back, I volunteered to help with an art exhibition, and I wasn't a juror on it, but I was helping with preparing it for them. And it was in New York City, and it was really hot, and the room was really dark, and there were three jurors, and once we had set it all up, they were showing slides of all this work. It was this big screen, and they were going through it, and so I was in the back and I was watching this thing, and there was three jurors, and they only had to mark down the pieces that were in the first culling of it. Like they were going to take 1,000 entries and turn it into about 50, right? So all the jurors had to do, and they were all jurying all the same work, right? So it was three jurors, and so we're watching this thing, and it was really hot, and we're watching, and a lot of the same kind of things are coming up on the screen. At first you're really interested, but after a while, every 5 seconds or 10 seconds, you're seeing a new image, and your eyes kind of start to glaze over at a certain point. After about half an hour of this, and this we had several hours just in this one session. I'm standing up there, and I'm half falling asleep, trying, and I love art, and I'm watching this thing, but what would wake me up is something would come up that was kind of different looking, just a piece of art that I'd never seen anything like that. And what startled me was, in unison, these jurors would grab their pens and they would mark something down. They would mark that it was and then I would be helping, doing coffee or whatever in the back, and I would notice them all move in unison again. And I would look at the art, and it was something also that was very different, that wasn't like what we've been seeing. Most of the work just kind of put you to sleep a little bit, not because it wasn't good, but it's because it was being seen in sequence. It's all like the same kind of work. It all had sort of the same feeling and nothing. And so after, this watching this all day, I came home and I was thinking about it, and I had the realization that, this is different. It's not like when we look at our work and we try to evaluate whether it's good or not, and should I enter this, and how does this rank with everything. But your art's being seen in a sequence, and this is different because what seems to be noticed, and I've seen this again and again, the things that end up being selected are the things that wake people up, that move you a little bit more than other things. It's the kind of things that probably, we all have a range of our work. It's the things that we're a little less sure about, perhaps, or we took a greater chance with, or we use a different material, or we did something that hasn't really been done in exactly the same way. Anyway, this is Nicholas Wilton at Art to Life, and I'm talking about how to enter and get into art exhibitions. It's no accident that I'm talking about this, because it's on my mind a lot, because Art to Life is having theirs right now. The call for entry, there's a link below, and I'll be talking about that in a minute. But I just never knew this piece about how to increase the likelihood that I'll get my work in, and it's really, really just based on what you choose, right? So it's the choosing that you do on the front end of this thing that makes a difference on the outcome of it. So I've never actually even heard anyone talk about this, and I would never even thought about it if I hadn't stood in the back of this room watching those people make those selections, and also feeling the sort of monotony of the succession of the same kind of art, or even if they're different in all the same way, or the degree of differences is not that great. So the first takeaway that I think we just need to remember, what I remember when I enter things, is that it wants to be different. We really have to step it up. We really have to just think about what are the kind of work that we can put in that is, maybe it's outside our comfort zone a little. It's something that for you feels like maybe you love it so much, but you're insecure about showing it, right? Because it's so different than what you've done before. Maybe it's the kind of art that you took a big risk and you haven't even shown anyone. These pieces have energy and juice, and you can feel it. There's usually some fear floating around them. So that's the first thing. But understand that being different having it feel different, having it being on the outside edges of what you normally do. It's still your work. You're not just entering stuff that's different for the sake of doing it. It's your work, but selection of your work. What are the pieces that hold that for you? What are the pieces that maybe moved you more and sets that are a little more different than what's been done in the past? Often those pieces, those pictures that come along, or the paintings or whatever the art is that you're making that come along that take a big leap, that forecast a direction you might be going in the future. It's those kinds of pieces. The second idea is that I used to choose things based on, well, everyone likes this piece. That piece, I mean, people love that. I posted that on Instagram and everyone loved that. So, but that's not necessarily the right thinking either. Okay, so just because lots of people like it, I don't think that necessarily means that it's gonna get selected. It's usually almost the opposite. What's so important here is that you love this thing, is that you like it. Don't worry about the criteria is different in an exhibition. It's not Instagram, right? So don't be swayed by that, because what happens is because everyone likes it, the more people like it, and this is sometimes, I've seen this with my own work, the crowd pleasers are the things that kind of put you to sleep, frankly, when they're seen in succession with other work. It's like, yeah, it's great. We love it. It's so easy. It's so easy. Sometimes easy is tiring, right? When you see a lot of it. So that's the second little idea. And the third idea is about this idea of using an exhibition to showcase the edginess, the more edgy work you have. Use an exhibition. That's what it's for. Like it's like for you to get closer and to become involved with the outside edges of your work and put it up there and see what happens. It's an experiment. It's an effort in a direction that's tricky and hard and revealing, and there's vulnerability. That's the beauty of it, because just doing that, then you've won. Even if you don't get in, you've used the selection, you've pushed yourself, and entering it does something. It creates, like, you look at those 3 pieces you're entering and it's like, wow, you see your work in a different way. And I believe there's more likelihood that you're going to get feedback from that, and possibly feedback in terms of getting in the thing or winning the thing or whatever it is. But it's experimental in a way. So anyway, those are some ideas that I would definitely think about when entering. And so leave a comment below, like, how do you choose? How do you choose what you put in an exhibition? It's totally different than what you choose to put on your Facebook page or what you put in your portfolio. And I've actually never really heard anyone talk about this, So I'm really interested in your thoughts. I think this is really interesting because we all enter these shows, right? And they can be game changers if you get in, right? And you're showing your work, and these jurors are seeing it. And they're looking, by the way, they're looking for that kind of thing that lights them up, right? So that's important. Please leave a comment below. So by the way, we have a couple more weeks left for the Art to Life International Exhibition. It's going to be even bigger, and there's a more diverse group of artists that are applying this year. It's going to be amazing. We're promoting it even more than last year. So there's a sign up below. There's a few more weeks left of that. It's going to be really, really great. So I hope you participate. Thanks for being here, and I will see you soon. Okay. Hey everyone, if you found this helpful, I have a whole lot more to teach, share, and inspire you with every single week. So please join the Art to Life YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Okay, great. Let's do this.